Hey everyone, ready to find out what happens next? Well then, let's get to it, shall we? Chapter 11, Nico's POV. Nico, come on! We're gonna be late for school, yelled Kate from the front yard. Nico had been reading a book, Percy Jackson. She hadn't realized the time. She must have been reading all from 5:30 to 6:15. She wasn't even ready for school, not dressed for it, hadn't eaten for it, not packed for it. She jumped up from her bed, found some random clothes to wear, and put them on. She checked the mirror. Blue tank top, loose purple half shirt over it, blue jeans. It didn't look as good as she usually wore her clothes, but it wasn't a swamp. She grabbed Percy Jackson, stuffed it into her backpack along with all of her school supplies. She brushed her hair painfully and then thought of putting her shoes on in the bus. "I'm coming," she exclaimed. She slammed the door shut and locked it. They both ran to the bus as fast as they could and made it to the bus just in time for its arrival. When they got done, she put on her black leather boots. "You were reading again," says Kate. Nico turned her head to Kate and stuck her tongue out. "Yeah, so what? We made it, didn't we?" "Barely. You need another alarm or something, because I know you weren't ready for school at all when I called from the front yard. I wish I could get there earlier so that I can do that, making you think it was time to go so you could rush and we will be early. But I can't since I've got the night watch." "Yeah, that would be cruel. But it will still get you ready, wouldn't it? How many nights do you have left?" Kate thought about it. The first night, Chica dropped pants on her head and Freddie fixed his mig. The second night, a purple man called Vincent broke the door to the pizzeria. The third night, she slept. The fourth night, she passed out, and when she woke up, she ate pizza. The fifth night, oh no, tonight was her fifth night. What was she gonna do? How will she say goodbye to Foxy and the others? Nico looked at Kate awkwardly. 1 second she asked a question, getting Kate to think. And the next second, Kate is going to explode in briefing. "You alright?" she asked. Kate looked at her like it was obvious what the answer was. For Nico, nothing was obvious but the things she likes. Now it wasn't. "No, I'm not alright. Tonight is my last night. What am I gonna do? How will I say?" She stopped. She remembered then that she couldn't tell anyone that they were good at night if they knew you. "What do you mean? It's not like you have fun with them during your shift. You're locked up in an office for 6 hours. You said yourself that it was scary." "Yeah, but it's also my only job. Maybe I'll get another job. As a waitress. Yeah, a waitress." Nico had no clue what the panic was about, so she just ignored it. "Freddie," she thought, "what what about Freddy? After school, Nico went to the pizzeria with Kate. Kate only went straight there so she could get there early. Nico went there to see Freddy. The pizzeria was still open. It closed at 7, and it was only 4. Nico watched Freddy sing as he now and then looked at her. She could have sworn he winked at her at least once. She saw Kate head for the office like she was supposed to. She told Nico that she was gonna do homework in there. This time Kate brought her laptop with her in her bag, so she could use the internet when she needed to. When the pizzeria started to close and everyone was leaving, Nico came to Freddy. "Hi, Freddy. Nice job today." She looked at him, and he smiled. "Thank you, Nico. How was school today?" She explained that morning and the school day, even what it was like watching him. They hugged, and she kissed Freddy on the cheek. He paused, and his ears pricked up. He smiled and put his hand on his cheek. "What was that?" he asked. "It's called a kiss. People do it whenever they're really close to each other or are in love." She paused and blushed. I love you, Freddy." Freddy's eyes widened. He didn't know what love felt like. He didn't have human emotions. Maybe he'll develop it later on because of his human self. He was feeling something right now that he hadn't felt before. He felt comfortable around Nico. I don't know what to say." She smiled. "You don't have to say anything. Just accept the ticket." Later she went home, since the place closed. Foxy's POV. Kate walked into Pirate's Cove, and Foxy smiled. This was his favorite time of the day, or night. When Kate came to see him at the end of the day, Kate hugged him tightly. He hugged her back, but he didn't know why she was the one hugging him instead of him hugging her. What's this about?" he asked. Kate was still hugging him. She looked up at him, and he realized that she had tears in her eyes. His ears lowered, and his smile turned into a frown. "What's wrong?" He leaned his head on the top of hers. "Foxy, this is my last night. My last night I can see you again. I don't want it to be. I just don't." The tears started falling from her eyes. Foxy lifted his head and put her face in his hand and hug and hook. He wiped a tear off of her face with a finger. "Don't be sad. They've been looking for new waitresses. Also, you can be the new security guard again." He tried to cheer her up. He did the first time with a waitress, but she felt bad again when he mentioned the security guard. "But Foxy, I can't be the security guard again. Mike Smith is taking that. He says I inspired him to be the next one." "Then you be a waitress." She smiled. She told Bonnie next, and he felt terrible. Then she told him that she was gonna try to be a waitress, and he jumped up. He hugged her and did a celebration dance that was hilariously stupid. "Woo! Don't scare me like that!" But then he slept on nothing and fell. As always, he's got those clumsy feet. "Yeah, that'd be the funniest thing I see you do in a while," Foxy laughed. and so did Kate. She told Chica, and she got sad too with an "Aww." But once she told her about the waitress, Chica got straight up and made more pizza. Then she told Freddie, and he took it a little less sadly. He was excited for her new job. He'll get to see her every day, serving pizza and having fun with the kids. Nice choice, Kate. I'm looking forward to seeing you in that uniform. Chapter 12. Kate's POV. That morning, Kate went straight to the office and left a note saying she wanted to be a waitress at the pizzeria. She had hoped that Scott or Boss Freddie would find it while they came in. They knew her address, and she didn't have an email. She went to Nico's house to see if she was ready for school, unlike yesterday. She was, surprisingly, and they went to the bus. Kate told Nico about her plan to be a waitress at the pizzeria. Nico didn't look or sound so sure about it. But Kate, did you realize that you can't do that job? She asked. Why can't I be a waitress? Seriously, why couldn't she? She thought about it. Because you have school. Also, your dad will never approve. He barely let you have this one. That's right. Waitresses work during the day. School takes that over. And then there's her dad, who forbade her to ever go in the pizzeria. I'm sure I'll think of something, she finally said, half-heartedly. How am I going to do this? Ditch school? Work only after school? Wait, that could work. But I want to see Foxy all day, she thought. But then it hit her. I have an idea, she yelled and frightened Nico. Apparently it was unexpected. Yeah? What if I work before and after school? Then I work all day on weekends. That's actually a good idea. Okay, but what about your dad? I can handle him. After school, Kate made it to her house and set her stuff down on the couch. She did the dishes, took out the trash, and even kissed her dad on the cheek. Hi, Dad. I did you a few favors. Okay, what do you want? He says. What do you mean? I'm doing this 'cause I love you and need to give you a little more respect. Yeah, right. So what is it? Okay, last night was my last night at the pizzeria, right? Yeah, you were on the news this morning, saying that you were the second security guard to ever make all 5 nights alive in that pizzeria. Yeah, Kay thought, and I know the first person. Awesome. Well, I was wondering, what do you think of that pizzeria now that I survived all 5 of the nights? Her dad thought for a minute, standing there with a face that looked partly angry but partly confused. Well, Kate, that depends on what you think of it. Ever since the accident, you weren't so sure about that place. Dad, I wanted to go back in that pizzeria for years. I didn't consider that scratch on purpose. I loved that place and always have. It was you and Mom who forbade me to go back. Nice. You're right. I'm just worried about you. If you like it, then I guess your mom would want you to do what you want there. So, I guess it's not very bad. Great, because I want to be a waitress there. A waitress? Haha, you have school, darling. That's why I thought I could work there before and after school. 1 hour in the morning and then 4 after. Then, of course, all day on weekends. Nice thinking. But why do you want to work on the weekends? Don't you like spending time with me anymore? He gave a sad face, then the puppy eyes. I'm just kidding. It's alright with me. Just be careful. Thank you. She kissed him on the cheek, actually meaning it this time. She then ran straight to Nico's house and told her everything. Nico looked so happy to know that Kate's father actually said it was okay with him to let Kate go to Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. I'm so proud of you. But do you know if you got the job yet? Not yet, but Boss Freddy seemed to really like my attitude, so I'm sure he'll let me in. Scott thought I was weird, but that's a good note in my mind. That morning the mail came, and Kate didn't even wait for the mailman to put the mail in the mailbox. She just ran right on out and took it out of his hand. He laughed. Excited much? How was the night watch? You knew? I watched the news too, you know. It was okay. I'm just excited right now to know if I made my next job for being a waitress there. Ah, it's right here. He pulled out the envelope, and like last time, it said in bold letters in the middle, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Right beneath it said for Kate Heston. Oh my gosh, I have to see this. She ripped the envelope open and took out the letter. She read, Kate Heston, we accept your waitress wanting. We're glad to see you want to come back to the pizzeria as well. Pay attention to the instructions, or it can lead to serious injury or death. Scott will tell you what to do again, and you'll be surprised of how much he really knows about this job. He doesn't just talk on the phone all day, you know. Hope you enjoy the animatronics a lot more during the day than at night. They are much more likable. Good luck. Your boss, Freddy. Kate stared at the paper for a moment with the biggest smile of her face she had for a long time. She was so excited. She'll get to see Foxy, Chica, Freddy, and Bunny every single day. I made it in! She screamed. She jumped around in happiness and hugged the mailman. That's great. You're gonna be seriously known in that place soon. Being the second security guard to make it out in 5 nights and being the waitress, you're one good girl. Now, what's the hug for? Thank you for bringing me this letter. It means so much. No problem. Congratulations. Have a nice day. Good luck. He waved goodbye, and she waved back. She never realized how nice the mailman was. Chapter 13. Nico! Kate screamed as soon as she opened Nico's front door. She ran as fast as she could upstairs to Nico's room, but slipped on the rug. Stupid wooden floor, she thought. She put the rug back in place and raced to Nico's room. When she got in the doorway, Nico was reading another Percy Jackson book. She jumped and dropped dead when she saw Kate in the doorway, looking like she was about to pass out. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Did you try to put all of the pixie of a pixie stick in your mouth at once again? She giggled. She remembered that so well. Kate's face was so red, and she couldn't open her eyes from the soreness. No, Kate says out of breath. She fell to the floor and looked up at Nico sitting on the bed, crisscross applesauce, aka Indian style. There's just so many names for it. I was just kidding. So what's up? She said, smiling, as if she never saw Kate in the doorway, out of breath, and seeing her fall on the floor. I just sprinted, 3 houses, hit my shoulder on the side of a door, climbed upstairs, slipped on a rug, and fell on the floor to tell you something, and all you just say, "What's up?" Kate says angrily, and yet disappointed. She slithered her way up to the bed, as if her legs weren't working anymore. Maybe I should be in track and field instead of a waitress, she thought. Okay, so you know how I told you I wanted to be a waitress? Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday, she says, looking out in the distance, as if it was going to a flashback. Oh, wait, it was, haha. Kate facepalmed herself, and then slapped Nico in the face with the big slap. Ow! What was that for? She slapped Kate back, which seemed to quite entertain her. Ow! Pay attention. Stay in the subject here, she said, holding Nico's face in her arms. Oh, yeah, right. Proceed, she said, leaning her face on her knuckles. I asked my dad, and he said it was okay with him. And then today, guess what? She started jumping. What? I looked in the mail and got a letter in the pizzeria. Go on. And it said, I got the job. Nico squealed like a puppy's whine was getting destroyed. I'm so happy for you. Yep. And then I had a nice chat with the mailman. Have you? It's actually quite nice, she said with a focused face. Nope. So you're saying that you got a job as a waitress at the pizzeria and your dad gave you permission for it? Yeah? Okay, good. So, why are you into there now? She said, biting her bottom lip. That was Kate's entire will. She just stopped, dead, her soul just leaving her body. Oh my gosh, you're right, she exclaimed, getting straight up from the bed. She started to leave and then stopped. She walked back toward Nico and grabbed her wrist. You're coming too. No buts. Just come. She pulled her out of the house and started running. Kate, maybe you should stop running for at least a couple minutes. You almost passed out on my floor after all. Kate finally started walking for the first time in a week. Foxy, she thought. Foxy, you're all I can think about. Nico's POV. What is wrong with her? Nico thought. She's been going crazy about this pizzeria ever since she first got the night shift. She looked at Kate's face, which looked like a little girl, excited to get her ears pierced. Her eyes were twinkling, and her teeth were completely visible. The pizzeria was just down the street. Could she take that? Kate, she said, are you okay? Kate gave Nico a confused look. Whatever do you mean? Who says that anymore? Well, you've been going on about this pizzeria ever since you got the night shift. It's almost like the pizzeria has your life. It's kind of creepy. Oh, but it does, my dear friend. I met Foxy there. I got this car there. Nico covered her mouth. I get it. You want to see Foxy, don't you? Don't deny it. You love him. Sure, you love the others too. But you love him. Love him. Yeah, that's how I feel about Freddy. Really? I haven't noticed, Kate said, rolling her eyes. Nico didn't bother to even look at her. She rose her hand up. Forget the sarcasm. I know I'm not very good at hiding my feelings for guys. I just think it must be weird having a crush on an animatronic, you know? I don't really care about that. I do what I do, says Kate proudly. You don't? Not at all. Kate looked at her. It's nothing to be ashamed of. They're people. They talk, they walk, they do anything a human can do. Except to touch water. So don't let it bother you that you love an animatronic. Because I'm sure he feels the same way too. She looked at Nico. She was shocked. She didn't know Kate had it in her. She didn't realize they were in front of the pizzeria. She looked through the glass door and saw Freddie looking at her smiling. He waved and smiled. She did the same thing back. Freddie, I love you, she thought. Foxy's POV. There's that third feeling again, Foxy thought. It'd be hurting on the inside. He looked out his curtain just enough so that he could see Kate talking to her friend. He saw Kate then. Look at him. She waved. This time she knew that he was looking back. He watched her come in and say hi to Chica on the way. He closed his curtain again and looked at the wall. He was happy she was here. That pain in his chest, it disappeared and was replaced with warmth. I knew Scott would let her have the job. The next time he looked out the curtain, he saw Kate come out from the hall to the office, putting on the last piece to her uniform, the hat. He saw her name engraved into the little metal rectangle that he didn't know was the point of wearing. He didn't even know what it was called, but he was happy to see her just outside of the cove. Kate looked around and made sure nobody saw her come in the cove. Hi, Foxy. I missed you, she said, giving Foxy a great big hug. I've been missing you too, Kate, he said with a smile on his face. I've been wanting to tell you something. Yes, Foxy? I'm a little embarrassed to say. He lifted up his hook and scratched his neck. I love you, Kate, he finally said. I've been wanting to say that for so long, he thought. Kate stared at him blankly for a second, but then she started to tear up. I love you too, Foxy. She hugged him again. She wanted to kiss him, but how do you kiss an animatronic? I guess it'd not be so awkward anymore, says Foxy. If he were human, there's no doubt he'd be blushing right now. But it did cause Kate too. Yeah, I guess not. Chapter 14. The next day was great at the pizzeria. Kate loved the kids. She served them pizza. She even spoke on the microphone, introducing the animatronics to those who didn't know. Many times, she would look at the cove and see Foxy's uncovered eye looking at her. She would smile and wave. You're doing great, Kate, says Freddie, patting her on the back on stage. He was smiling. She couldn't tell if it was because of her or because Nico was there with her, watching Freddie every second. Thanks, Freddie. I love it here. I don't even want to quit. I could work here for the rest of my life, she said. Let's hope this place lasts that long. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will. Nothing has gone wrong since it happened, she said, rubbing her sleeve. Freddie saw her doing it. Don't worry about that. We're good now. He put his hand on the scarred arm. Besides, think of it as a reminder of us and Foxy. Kay smiled. Freddie finally said Foxy's name. He must be warming up to him again. Thank you. She hugged him. When she got back to work, she saw a man come in with a big box. It was Scott. The box could probably fit a human in it. She followed him to backstage. What's in the box? Scott looked at her. He opened the box. There was an animatronic. It was a leopard with dark ears, hands, and feet. The end of her tail was black. Her cheeks were red, as if she were wearing blush. She was about the same height as Foxy. She had a medium shade of purple above her eyes, like eyeshadow. The rest of her body was white, with black spots. It's a new animatronic. She's named Paulina. She does the same job as Chica. She's supposed to be more lovable, says Scott. Kate didn't understand what he meant. She's beautiful. But what do you mean by more lovable? The kids love the others just fine. Yeah, but we also need someone to replace Foxy until we fix him. We're thinking of fixing his ribs and his jaw. That got Kate so happy. They're gonna fix him. Yes, she thought. Okay, let's see how she works. She picked Paulina up onto her feet. Scott unscrewed the lid in her bag and hit the on switch. Paulina automatically turned on and her eyes opened. She looked around, so we knew she moved. She took a couple steps, so now we know that she can walk. Kate smiled. Paulina then turned her head to look at Kate. Hello, what's your name? She then said. She raised her hand out. I'm Paulina, the leopard. Hi, Paulina. I'm Kate. It's nice to meet you. Kate shook her hand in happiness. It's nice to meet you too, Kate. I hope that we can be friends from now on. Yes, we can. Then all of a sudden, a phone rang. Kate looked at Scott, seeing his phone head ringing. It stopped eventually. Ha! So you do use your head to call. Kate said, smirking. She even let out a little giggle. Scott pouted. No, Kate. That just tells me that I have a phone call at home, he said. Yeah, sure, Scott. We all know you're lying in here. You can just admit it. Then he just walked away. Enjoy having Paulina. She'll start working tomorrow. That got Kate excited. She looked at Paulina. You hear that, Paulina? Your first day working at the pizzeria starts tomorrow. But first, you must meet the other animatronics. Okay, who are they? When will I meet them? She looked around. Tonight, although you might meet Freddie and Bonnie after the song is finished. Okay, it's nice to have a friend right after I get turned on. Kate had to stay late because of a party that was thrown. The kids there left a huge mess. There were 3 tables to clean, and there was a lot of pizza sauce and soda stuck to them, so she really had to scrub. Some of it got on the floor. When she was done, she saw that it was 11:57. That means the night shift starts in a few minutes for the next security guard. She looked at the paper that said who the security guard was. It was who she predicted, Mike Smith. She tried to leave, but the doors wouldn't open. The doors lock on their own when it turns 11:55. You can't get in or out. Didn't you know that? Said a voice behind her. She turned around and saw Mike, smiling. No, this must be an upgrade. It didn't do that when I was the security guard. Well, I guess they made it a little easier for me. Come on, you can stay with me for the night, since you already know what to do. He started walking down the hall. Kay looked at Foxy, who was peeking through the curtains with his ears down, and then at Freddie, Chica, and Bonnie, who were standing on the stage looking at her. she mouthed. That's Mike Smith, the one I told you about. Don't attack him. He's a friend. They nodded back at her. She looked back at Mike, who was just in the doorway of the office. Hey, Mike, I just need to tell you something. At times, they may not attack very often. Sometimes they'll seem to act as if it was just daytime and not even care if you look like a naked endoskeleton. Okay, so what are you saying? Just that you may not have to close the doors as often as you probably think you'll have to. He nodded. You coming? Just a sec. She walked to Freddie. He looked confused. Okay, so I have a plan. So how about you guys can go to him and you know what you think. But even if you're free to get in the office, just walk away. Is that good? Good idea. Thanks, Kate, says Bunny. Freddie and Chica agreed. Luckily, Foxy doesn't usually attack much. Kate thought. I don't think Paulina was even set up to do this either. Kate got in the office and pretended she was about to get killed like Scott said he would. She was a good actor, apparently, because Mike completely fell for it. I guess that comes from years of drama. When it turned 6, Kate thanked the animatronics. She also gave Foxy a kiss on the cheek and went home. Good thing the next day was the weekend, because Kate needed some sleep. She slept until 11 in the morning. She ate her brunch and went back to the pizzeria. Turns out, Paulina had already met the others when Kate got there, because Paulina was working and having a nice time with Chica. When she got the chance, she would go say hi to Freddie and Bonnie. She never met Foxy yet. No surprise there. Kate went to Pirate's Cove. Hi, Foxy. I missed you. Sorry I couldn't be with you last night. I had some business to handle. Foxy looked at her happily. He didn't seem to mind. Aye, that's okay, lass. I missed you too. How's being a waitress? Says Foxy. It's amazing. Also, there's a new animatronic here. Her name is Paulina the Leopard. Ah, yes. I saw the lass. She didn't see me though. She looks nice. I be having just one question. What's a leopard? Kate explained to him what the leopard was. He nodded as she spoke. Okay, now I know it's a wild cat with spots. They can be orange, yellow, or white. That's right. Chapter 15. Hello, I'm Paulina the leopard, says Paulina, holding out her hand towards Foxy. Foxy didn't know what she was doing, but he put his hand in hers. She shook it. Hello. Hi, hello, Paulina. I'm Foxy the Pirate Fox. I've been seeing you working. He smiles. I just want to know what you'll be doing with my hand. I'm shaking it. It's how we greet each other. I'm programmed to do this, she said. Kate curved her neck back. What was that? She glitched. Maybe she has something wrong with her voice box, she thought. I know you may be an older animatronic, so you don't know much, especially if you're in there all the time. Don't worry, you'll be fixed in no time. Paulina? Says Kate confused. Paulina turned her head. Yes, Kate? She walked closer to Paulina slowly. Are you okay? Your voice box is glitching. It is? She put her hand on her chest. I didn't notice. I may have to call Scott if this keeps up. Kate thought. Kate got out of the cove, Paulina following. Paulina, you can go do whatever. I need to think about something. Did I do something wrong? Yes and no. Your voice box did, not you completely. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Of course not. It's the voice box. You can't control what happens to that. She hugged her. Then all of a sudden, Kate heard a strange whisper. She couldn't tell what it was, even though it was kind of pointless to try. She tried to sharpen her hearing until she finally understood. You don't belong here. You're not my friend. What? Kate looked at Paulina and saw her eyes turned all black, as if they weren't there, except for small white dots in the center. She started to get in a stance of jumping, but then Kate dodged. Paulina jumped and fell on the table with a family on it. Everyone, evacuate the building! I repeat, evacuate the building! Kate yelled. Everyone started to leave, glancing at the kind leopard lying face first on the table, covered in pizza. When they were all gone, Kate looked at Paulina. Her eyes were back to normal, and she looked like she was about to cry. But how do animatronics cry? Paulina, are you okay? Kate asked. What happened? Foxy said. He walked out of the cove since nobody was here. He looked at Paulina. Roll her over. Let's see them circuits. He then said. They rolled her over and opened the lid. The wires didn't look the same as before. That's odd, Kate thought. She didn't know anything about circuits. Foxy, can you help me? Foxy, can you help her? Aye, of course. Someone moved her wires, the same way a man moved mine. Of course, I was fixed. Then it happened to Freddy, then Chica, then Bonnie. I know who did it. His face changed to one that looked like multiple kinds. Anger, sadness, and frustration. His ears lowered to the metal. He then moved the red wire to where the green wire was, and the blue wire to where the blue one was. Then he moved the yellow one to a different angle. Try that, he then said. Kate turned the on button again. Paulina stood up and looked around, doing the same thing as last time when she first undone. Only this time, she knew the people around her. I'm so sorry. I couldn't control myself. Foxy covered her mouth. I know. It happened before. You heard something, didn't you, lass? She nodded. It was weird. It was almost like a whisper. I don't know what it was, but it was pushing my mind to a place that I didn't like. I couldn't fight it. So, who did this, Foxy? Asked Kate. Let me remember the last name. A few moments came. Now I got it. It was that purple lad. I think Vincent was his name. Of course, Kate thought. Why else was he trying to get in the pizzeria? He said he had met them before. He was planning to do it again. Okay, I'm gonna call Scott. Kate went straight to the office. Paulina's POV. You don't deserve her, said the voice. What? Paulina thought. You never did. What are you talking about? Get away! He wouldn't stop. He kept telling her to attack Kate. Be mean to her. Kill every human she sees. She farted for the whole day. Can she hold it any longer? Kate hugged her. That's when it happened. The strange voice took over Paulina's mind. It even stole her talking. You don't belong here. You're not my friend, it said. Kate stiffened when she looked at Paulina. The voice made Paulina's eyes black, with eyes glowing dots in the center. It told Paulina to attack. She did, but then realized Kate moved and she couldn't stop herself. She fell onto the table. That was the last thing she saw. Then everything went black. She heard everything. She felt everything, but couldn't see, move, or talk. The voice left. She didn't hear it anymore, and she could control herself. She heard walking and the doors opening over and over again. Then she felt something on her side roll her over. Kate, I'm sorry. Please help, she wanted to say, but nothing came out. Then nothing. She didn't hear, feel, or see anything. She was just in plain darkness and couldn't move. 1 second later, she woke up. She could see, she could feel, she could move, hear, and speak. I'm so sorry. I couldn't control myself. Foxy had covered her mouth. Kate's POV. What happened? Said Scott on the phone. Well, Paulina had a strange malfunction and tried to attack me. The strangest thing happened to her eyes, says Kate. Yes, well, that happened to the others too. Their wires and circuits were changed. We never found out who it was. How did you fix it? How did you fix Paulina? Well, Foxy somehow knew. It was weird. He also told me it was Vincent. He must have remembered from when it happened to him. Okay, that's good news. I'll talk to Vincent. Also, can you tell that Mike Smith that I won't be able to call him tonight? I'll be in court with Vincent. You know what to tell him. Okay, thanks. Bye. Hey, Mike. Scott won't be able to call you tonight, so he asked me to tell you what you need to know, said Kate. Okay, what's up? He says excitedly. It'll be the same as last night, except you'll have Foxy to deal with. He's the only one that can run, so be careful. You see him out of Pirate's Cove. Watch him. He'll start running, and it'll be hard to close the door in time. Got it. Thanks. Except either way, he still won't come in. Thanks, guys, she thought. Woof. This was a bit creepy for me, actually. But I kind of enjoy this story anyway, even though it has a bit of creepy parts. But if you guys still want me to continue this, subscribe, hit like, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you know when the next part comes. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!